Jim Bones Mackay is going to serve as the lead analyst for NBC. Bones is still on the bag for Justin Thomas full-time, but since JT has taken the week off, Bones will serve as a walker on Thursday, then move to the booth with Dan Hicks and Brad Faxon for the remainder of the week. And it's another chapter in what is already one of the most impressive resumes that any caddie has built in the history of this game. Started his career working with Larry Mai, Scott Simpson, Curtis Strange. 25 years for Phil Mickelson, 5 majors together. Spent 4 years as an on-course reporter for NBC before moving back on the bag for Justin Thomas in 2021 and adding a 6th major to his career. And Bones joins us now from Mexico. Bones, you're doing a lot of transitioning here. You've put down the bag. You were a caddie last week in LA when I saw you. You're walking tomorrow. You're in the booth Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do you have to kind of reprogram your mind along the way to how you approach these different gigs?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I certainly do. I certainly have to forget that how far Justin Thomas hits his 7-iron this week, because obviously these guys hit him all kinds of numbers. So you just kind of clear the slate, if you will. Just chill a little bit, rewire if you have to, and just think about the golf course from everybody's perspective rather than just the one guy.
Bones, you spoke about JT. He has publicly credited you with noticing different aspects of his golf swing that has helped him in his march towards what he calls so close. How close is he in your estimation?
Yeah, he's extremely close. I mean, certainly got off to a great start this year, despite the miscut in LA last week, where I think he was just somewhat out of gas. I think playing a couple of weeks with a lot of rain delays in both Phoenix and Pebble took it out of him. But, you know, he's a guy that's not out there. You know, if a genie came out of a bottle and said, you know, you can finish 3rd place this week, if you're happy with that, he'd tell him to get lost because he wants to win. So he's very determined to get back into the winner's circle, and I look forward to what's going to happen when he ultimately does raise that trophy the next time, given that he'll carry a lot of momentum into the tournaments that follow down the road.
Do you have a sense already this week, Bones, that there are guys out there in Mexico who feel as though they really have to be opportunistic this week because it isn't the strongest field? A lot of the top guys are taking a break before moving into the signature events and the players, but it is an opportunity for a lot of rank-and-file guys to play their way into those bigger events. Do you get that palpable sense on the ground yet?
Yeah, in a big way. I think without question this is an opportunity for some guys that maybe aren't in the players or aren't in the Masters, certainly, which looms not too far down the road, to have, you know, something of a life-altering week. The one thing about this golf course, though, that would be a little bit depressing for those guys is if you don't have a lot of length. This is one of the biggest golf courses I've ever seen. There's plenty of room off the tee with the exception of 2 or 3 holes. So, you know, bring your long ball this week or have one of the greatest putting weeks of your career if you don't have a lot of length off the tee.
Bones, we haven't had a chance to talk about it since the Ryder Cup. You were cast in a central and a very dramatic role there. And I'm wondering how much that is a reflection of the heightened emotions of the week and things happening there that simply don't happen any other week the whole rest of the year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, you know, the Ryder Cup, it's amazing. It's probably my favorite golf tournament anywhere in the world, and there's no question it gets a little chippy out there. Everybody wants to win in the worst way, and certainly, you know, the U.S. was trying very hard this past Ryder Cup to win overseas for the first time since, I think, 1993. But, you know, we got beat up, you know, really badly the first couple of days. Patrick, of course, did some amazing things on the golf course, I think, late Saturday. And you know, there's speeches going on in the respective team rooms. Guys get fired up, and you know, situations happened as they did. But the great thing is that we're all great friends after the fact. I have nothing but respect for Rory. He's a great ambassador for the game and arguably the best player in the world, and saw him for the first time recently. He came over, he gave me a big hug at a dinner we were both at in the Pebble Beach area. So, again, I think it just reflects how much these players, you know, want to win the Ryder Cup, and I think it speaks for what a great game golf is, because those guys aren't getting paid a nickel for being there that week. I think they're just doing it for the love of the game and, you know, representing their peers and their tours and their countries and continents, if you will.
You've been in the middle of that pressure as a caddie and working TV. Bones, when are we going to get you back to TV full-time? I get that your heart's still in caddying, but do we have to wait until your knees give out entirely to get you back on this side of the camera?
Well, Eamon, you know, I keep up big time with your golf game, and certainly if that Super Senior Tour does come back around and your game starts to peak, and I hear it hasn't peaked yet, I'll certainly consider it. But right now I'm very happy carrying the golf bag of one of the great players in the world, and when I have a couple of weeks to myself coming out and hanging out with my TV friends and doing this, I've got a lot of rust to knock off, but caddying's been really good to me.
Picking up on that theme, it's ironic that your nickname is Bones from Fred Couples, because we've all talked to you about your bones and particularly about your knees. How are you feeling? How is the body taking the rigors of a long time out there?
The knees are great now. The marvels of modern science and medicine. I do have a back fusion on the docket for later this summer. So, my body is exactly what it should be. It's beaten up quite a bit after 35 years out here, but, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I got a couple of good doctors at home. They're going to put me back together, and they got a couple of rolls of duct tape. So I look forward to being out here for a little bit longer.
Focusing on the job this week, Bones, who are you looking for a big week from? Okay, Tony Finau is a brand name in the field, but Brandon Wu's been in the top 3 the last couple of years there. Nikolai Højgaard's in the field playing really well. Is there any one guy that you're looking at to make a statement this week?
I think a couple of guys, to me, Torbjorn Olesen, coming off a win in the Middle East recently on the DP Tour. He's been playing some great golf. He's definitely turned a new chapter and taken his game to a different level, if you will, the last couple of years in terms of how he plays. And I'm waiting for Maverick McNeely to make some noise. While he may not be one of the longer guys here this week, he's an exceptional putter. Obviously, great putting makes up for a lot of other things. And I think at some point this year, he's either going to win or come darn close.
Bones, we talk constantly about the depth in professional golf on tours around the world. I'm going to ask you to look over your shoulder just for a second, because we just finished the West Coast swing, and there were a lot of surprises. Surprises from the standpoint of saying, can't believe the quality and depth of the stories of winners that we had. What do you think about in terms of these winners when you look back on the weeks that just happened?
Well, again, you mentioned the depth, certainly, and while, Nick Taylor may not be a household name amongst golf fans, at least through the United States, certainly he is in Canada. I mean, that guy's one heck of a player, and he's a guy that when he smells blood can really get it done. He's a shark out there, and he proved, at the Waste Management, exactly what he's made of in terms of just tracking Charlie Hoffman down and ultimately winning in a playoff where there are birdies flying everywhere. And, people can write things like there wasn't a lot of juice on the West Coast, but I prefer to think of it as this is the PGA Tour. This is the place to be. And my goodness, you better bring your A game out here, because just about anybody can win week in, week out.
Well, the man with an A game is certainly you, sir. Good luck this week back with NBC. We're very much looking forward to your work as ever.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. Have a great day.